Hi, good morning. Is it morning? It's not morning. It's actually, let me check. It's afternoon, 12:17. Hello, good afternoon. How are you doing? This Thursday afternoon, I am having my breakfast, as you can see um, from the title of this live. I am having breakfast. I have some fried eggs, avocado, which I'm almost finishing, and boiled maize. Then I have my tea in this old mug. I have some banana and it's really good. The books I've been reading for the past 1 month. The last time I did live, which was last week, I was reading this book. It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. This was my reading at that point. I've no, no, I was reading It Ends With Us. Yes, this is the one I was reading. Of course, it's a series, so it starts with this, It Ends With Us, and then the second one is this, It Starts With Us. So last week I was reading this and I couldn't put this book down. I couldn't put it down. I think I read it in 2 weeks, which never happens. But this book was so good. It was really, really good, recommended by my friend, and I enjoyed reading it so much. Then she recommended this, which actually by the same author, so you should read them like following each other. After this you should read this. This is It Starts With Us, so it's a continuation of this. Exactly where this ends, it's where this picks up. So I started reading it yesterday. I got it yesterday from my friend, and I started reading it yesterday, and I'm already, I think, on page 45. It's not as big as this, but it's equally good. It's equally good. I picked it yesterday at 8 p.m. and I read it for like 1 hour and 30 minutes, and it's really good. So far, so good. And I mean, I've not been disappointed with this, so I sure know that this is going to be good. Hey, thank you so much for saying hi, King. Okay, I'll just leave it at King. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining. I am talking about the books I've been reading and enjoying recently, and I'm also having my breakfast. Well, it's not really a breakfast. It's already 12 here, so it's late breakfast stroke lunch. So this is what I'm eating: some fried eggs with vegetables, and I have some avocado on the side. I have some banana here, which I'm yet to eat, and I have boiled maize. I don't know if you can see this, but I love this boiled maize. You are beautiful. Thank you. I'm good. And what are you doing? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Hey, Husky Queen, how are you doing? Thank you for liking the live and for being here. Please say hi if you're joining in for the first time. A very old mug, which I love using. I'm good, thanks. How are you? I'm also doing well. I'm fine. I'm just sharing with you guys the books that I've been enjoying recently, and I have my breakfast, and as I also take some break from work. So my name is Anne. If you are joining for the first time, and I am in Nairobi, Kenya, and the weather is good today. There's sun actually. I can see sun through my window here. The sun, so that means it's gonna be a bit warm. It's been very, very, very chilly. Yeah, and I do these lives. I don't know. It's been now. This is the second time. I stopped in March. I used to do them very often. I think at some point it was every day, but then I stopped in March. Life happened, so I had to stop and take a break. And then I recently resumed, which was last week. So I'm trying to do like once a week. Yeah, I'll try to be consistent. Anyway, so this book talks about love, domestic violence. It talks about what else? Yeah, love, domestic violence. It's a really nice novel. It ends with us. It's a brave and heartbreaking novel that digs its claws into you and doesn't let you go. No one delivers an emotional read like Colleen Hoover. It's a really nice novel. Yeah, if you love like, those novels that takes you like turns and twists, then this one is one of those books you should read. It ends with us and then it continues here, so it's a girl brought up in a family where domestic violence was very constant. She grew up seeing her dad beating her mom every so often, and because she was young, she couldn't do much, so she just endured and lived through that. While her dad was very abusive to her mom, he was very kind and very loving to her. Where are you from? I'm in Nairobi. I'm in Kenya. He was very kind and loving to her, and she couldn't reconcile, these two things. Why are you so, cruel and angry and violent with mom, and so nice, so kind, so loving to me? Anyway, she grew up in that environment and she hated her dad for that. She says she liked him, as a human being, but she hated how he would treat her mom. And, those experiences just changed how he viewed his father. And so he grew up in this home, right? You're a beautiful lady, thank you. He grew up in this home, seeing this over and over. It was like the norm in their home. And she wondered why her mom would never leave this marriage. Why would you not leave this man? He beats you every day, but you don't seem to be doing anything. You don't report to the police, you don't leave, you do nothing. Like the circle continued, right? And in this process of her growing up and everything, there was a homeless boy who came and lived at abandoned house near their home. So because she couldn't get attention from her parents and her, family, she ended up making a friend with this homeless boy that lived in this abandoned house. So they became friends, they would go to the same school, and he was really intrigued by how he lived in that abandoned house without electricity, without water, with nothing. But he lived there. And so, I mean, they just became friends because they would go to the same school. And, every time they go to school, you would see him come out of that house. And every time they would come back home, he'd see him go to that house. I mean, they just became friends. And eventually she asked him, the boy, why are you doing in that house? Why are you here? How are you surviving in that house, especially during winter season, right? Anyway, that's basically where the story is set up, where it starts. And then as you read into the story, into the novel, it builds up, and it gets interesting. This boy lives, I mean, they became really good friends. Like, he became her first boyfriend, actually. This homeless boy became her first boyfriend. And later on, the boy lives with his uncle in a different state, Boston. And so their connection breaks because he goes and he joins military after he finishes school, and their life just goes separate ways. And so the story continues. This girl went on with the dad actually passed on, in the story later on. She went on to college and continued with her life. A mom remarries at some point. And this girl eventually ended up moving to Boston, where this boy had moved to. And so as the plot gets interesting in Boston. Life happens. She get a job and start working in this marketing firm. She works there for a couple of years, and then she gets bored and she wanted to change careers. She's always loved plants, flowers, and so she's like, maybe I should start a flower business. Okay, let me not forget my breakfast. Remember to like the live and say hi as you join in. Let me know where you're watching from. Say hi, like the live. I'm just sharing a quick overview of what this novel is about. I just finished reading this last week, and I really enjoyed reading it. So I'm just sharing a quick overview of what it is. Then I picked this yesterday, which is a continuation of It Ends With Us. It starts with us because there's an ending to a story here that starts here. So that's what I'm doing. Thank you so much for joining in. How are you doing this Thursday afternoon? It's 32 minutes past 12 noon here. I am in Nairobi. If you are meeting for the first time, my name is Anne, and I'm just having a late breakfast as I share the books I've been reading recently. So I was at this girl's, goes to Boston, get a job in a marketing firm. She works there, and then she resigns because she wants to start a business, a flower shop. But before, in the process of looking for a space to start this business, they were doing this with her mom, because her mom eventually moved also to Boston after her dad died and everything, They were living in Maine. Is it called Maine? Maine, I think it's a state in US or something like that. So eventually they all moved to Boston. She moved first, then her mom joined her later on. And so she got this space where she thought would be a good spot for starting a business. And so in the process of checking the space out, this lady walks in and was looking for a job, and they ended up becoming really good friends. Now, previously, she had met a brother to this lady who a brother to this lady in somewhere the day her dad passed. She'd met the brother to this lady somewhere in one of those rooftop spaces. She just gone to get, I don't know, fresh air or just breathe. Then she met this guy called, no, I will not say his name, but she'd met this a brother to this girl previously. So when this girl walks into her shop to look for a job, she didn't know she was related to this guy he'd met before. Anyway, they become friends with this girl. She works for her. The girl is actually, later on she finds out that the girl is very rich. Like, the girl is married to a techie guy who makes good money. So she really didn't need that job, but I mean, she wanted to get out of the house and do something. So one of those days, his brother walks into this flower shop, and this girl didn't know her friend knows the brother. And so, and even the brother didn't act in a manner likely to suggest that she knows this girl called Lily. So Lily is the protagonist. Is that what they call it? It's the protagonist. So yeah. So Lily is the protagonist, and she's the owner of the flower, and she has a friend, and the friend has a brother. I mean, eventually they fall in love with this guy, and they start life. They start life. They get engaged. They get married. And the first time she met this guy said that is that he doesn't believe in marriage. He doesn't want something serious and long term. He doesn't want children. Like, her first encounter with this guy was like, this is not the type of guy I'm looking for, because Lily was looking for a serious relationship, commitment, and stuff like that. But the guy was not looking for something like that. But as fate would have it, they met again and they fall in love and they start life, and the guy's perspective about marriage changes, about children changes. I mean, they get married, and that's where things start falling apart. Once they get married and start life, start living together, that's where things start falling apart. And that's where the domestic violence comes into Lily's home. What she witnessed in their home with her dad and mom, now she starts seeing it in her own life. This guy starts becoming violent, uh, she start beating her up and everything repeat itself. But Lily is quick to pick on these things and says, no, this is not gonna be my life. I saw this with my mom and dad, but for me, but Lily says that it's one thing to see domestic violence happen to someone, not you, and question their mind, their brain, their thinking. Why are they not living? What are you doing here? It's one thing to be in that position where you watch from afar. It's also another thing to be the one experiencing domestic violence. And now you are supposed to take a step, make a decision. So she's torn between these two things. This guy he met and fell in love with a very, a very accomplished surgeon, very serious with his career, makes good money, looks like his life is put together, but struggles with anger issues because of his past experience in his family growing up. He had an incident where he accidentally killed his older brother. So he's been carrying all this anger into his life and he never dealt with it. And now this is manifested in his marriage to Lily, where she started beating her now. She started venting out and just overreacting over little things. Okay, let me eat my food. Thank you guys for the likes. So where was I? Lily starts experiencing domestic violence in her own home, in her own marriage. What she saw happen in their house, in their family with her dad and mom, now happens to her. And she takes it the first time and she was like, maybe this was a mistake. There's something I might have done, I might have said that triggered, the husband, that made him react the way he did. So he slapped her and she said, maybe it's a mistake, let me give him another chance, right? And after that first experience, things went back to normal. Things even became better because the husband was very apologetic. He was very sorry and, he assured her that this will never happen again. Now, at this point, Lily didn't know his background and his issues dealing with anger and everything. So he didn't know about him, accidentally killing his older brother when they were young. So eventually, Lily's friend, who is the sister to the husband, talks to the husband and tell him, you should tell Lily about what happened in when you were young, should open up to her and let her know. And the husband eventually opens up and told her, this is what happened, ABC and D, and I've been going to therapy since I was young and I'm struggling with anger issues, ABCFGH. And Lily says, oh, that must be very hard, Things become back to normal in their home. And again, the guy hits her. And now things are really bad because Lily is like, actually, she pushed her on a stairs and she rolled, like, They had an argument, and the guy was hungry. He walked out. Lily followed her and tried talking to him, and he just pushed her, and she fell on the staircases. And it was bad because she needed stitches on her head and everything. And so this guy's sister, who works for Lily at a flower shop, noticed that there's something going on, because they are good friends. They are like best friends. And eventually Lily's open up and tells her, this is what has been happening, this is what happened, and this is why I got these stitches and everything. So these girls got really hungry about her brother doing this, but she knows where this is coming from. But she tells Lily, I don't think you should continue taking this, shouldn't continue taking this. I know you are married to my brother and you're my sister-in-law, but I will not encourage you to continue taking this. Anyway, Lily gathers courage and goes and talks to her mom, because her mom has been in this position for a long time when she was growing up. And so she was like, I have to tell my mom. Maybe she'll advise me, she'll tell me something. I mean, at this point, Lily is contemplating leaving, but she don't want to make this decision yet. And she's wondering, why am I not making decision that I need to make? I mean, she was mad at her mom when she continuously stayed in an abusive marriage, but now she's the one in that abusive marriage, and she's not gathering courage to leave. And that's why she says it's different when you are there and you're supposed to make the decision and leave, but for some reason you feel stuck. So her moms tell her, you should know your limit. How far can you take this? How long can you take this? For me, I stayed so long because every time I stayed, my limit was pushed and pushed and pushed, and before I knew it, it just became part of my life. I just got used to it, and I saw there's no point of living. This is really what this marriage is. So she stayed, but she told her, for you, don't do what I did. You should know your limit. If the first time you took it, the second time you've taken it, the more you continue staying, the more you push your limits. And the more you stay, the more it will be hard to leave. She doesn't tell her to leave or something like that. She just tell her to just know your limit, know how long you can take this. And yeah. So the guy at this point is very apologetic. It's very sorry. In fact, he got a scholarship and went to study in UK. So he went for 3 months for things to calm down and everything, and he comes back and it's very sorry as always. He's very apologetic. I'll not do this again. I have anger issues. Please help me, blah, 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 blah. And that's what this is about. Yeah. Fast forward. They get pregnant. Lily is expecting a baby. She didn't know at this point she was expectant, and they had really a bad fight. And yeah, this is the this is the fight that breaks everything, that ends everything, because after this fight, Lily never reports. She never reported any of this violence, but she leaves and calls Atlas, who was her first boyfriend. Remember Atlas from back, living in an abandoned home, a homeless guy who went to the military and came out and became a chef. They ran into each other in Boston. Not ran into each other, actually. They went for a date in his restaurant with his, at that point he was his boyfriend. They were not married yet. So then he finds out this is, Atlas Restaurants, and so that's how they meet. And over the course of this story, of course, when she got married and everything, they ran into each other a couple of times. Atlas even knows about her business and everything about her life. So they exchange contact at some point, and so when she experienced this third domestic violence, she calls Atlas and tells him that I'm in danger. I need you to come pick me. And this one was very bad because she had to be admitted in the hospital. At this point, she didn't know she was expectant. She finds out that she's pregnant in the hospital when she's taken there to get stitches because of how badly the husband beat her. Anyway, so the journey to pregnancy continues. They get a baby, and she gets divorced from this guy. On the day she gave birth to their baby girl is the day they get divorced. And that's how it ends with us ends, because she was like, this has to end with us. I'm not carrying this pattern into my child's life, because I was brought up in a domestic violent home. I've experienced this my whole life. I have now been experiencing it in my marriage, and it now ends with us. Like, my child is not going to experience this. So that's how she divorces the husband, and she begins a life of single motherhood. Of course, they are cooperating with the husband and everything. But that's how this novel is set up. So I would recommend it if you love stories like that. Pick It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. And then this is the second part of this, a continuation actually. So I am a day into this, but now it's a beginning of a new chapter for Emily. And at last, her first boyfriend, they're reconnecting, and they are now looking into maybe dating again, getting into a relationship again, and starting life anew. But the ex is still in the picture because they are co-parenting, and the ex is still hopes that maybe they could get back together. This guy loves her, so he's hoping that maybe there's a chance they might get back together. He's been seeing her, here and there, when he picks the baby, when he drops the baby. The guy has access to her apartment, and there's still some hope in his mind. But for this girl, Emily, she's like, I need to move on. And Atlas is in the picture. So that's how this second book starts. I don't know how it continues or how it will end, but so far, so good. So good. Any question? Any question? Any question? What are you currently reading? What are you currently reading? What are you currently reading? Are you reading anything interesting? Anything interesting you are reading you care to share with us? Or recommendations? Any recommendations? Any book recommendation? This I should be finishing if I continue with this same momentum that I started it with. Because they're not that big. It's 200 and what? It's how many pages? Let me see. 242 pages. So this isn't that big. This I can read in like 2 or 3 days. So if I get like an hour or two for the next 3 days with this book, I will be done. Today is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, should be done by Sunday or Monday latest. And I would appreciate recommendation for my next read. If there's something you're reading that you think I should check out, please let me know. If you're reading something interesting, something fun. I love reading nice, interesting books. It keeps me glued. It keeps me wanting to read more and more. I don't like reading books that are boring. They drag and they're not interesting. So I read what I find interesting. And that might not be the case for everyone. But for me, if it's interesting to me, I will read it.
With Shopify, I can turn my passion for coffee into a business. And to be honest, when I first started Chamberlain Coffee, I had a lot of anxiety about not being. Have erected some roadblocks getting into the city center, and we are currently at the junction between Kenyatta Avenue and Valley Road, and these are the vehicles. We've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at least 12 vehicles. These ones are heading down to the Central Business District, carrying police officers who are going to, of course, keep peace
peace and maintain peace during the demonstrations that we expect, or rather that day, in commemoration of the June 25th anniversary. And those are the shots of those vehicles going down. And there have been some officers have been conducting search of all people or Nairobi City who are going to down to their businesses, and we have been those activities. And right now, these are some of the vehicles, just a few of them that have been making their way into this. It has been
I'm checking out something on YouTube here about a protest that it's happening.
Good morning. Do indeed here in Nakuru City, the situation is still very calm, and
Here
we are
in
seeing
Kenya.
that the police are here in their numbers. There is a very heavy police deployment that has been done, and we are expecting that the situation might be changing later in the day. Maybe the people shall be resuming their normal
Yep, guys.
later in the day, but right now there is a slow opening or
I'm seeing myself here and I'm like, there's something on your lips. I think it's good now.
Actually, at the moment, we have some of the residents just moving around to monitor before monitor the situation before they can decide what exactly to do. And we have some of the residents here whom I can try maybe just to engage them and see maybe what exactly they feel about this.
Hi. Hello. What's up? What's up? How is it going? Where you are at? Here in Kenya, there's a planned, or there was a planned Gen Z demonstrations. And that's what I've been checking out here on YouTube to see what's going on, what's happening out there. I'm in here, but yeah, a lot is happening out there, and I want to be in the loop. I want to be informed. I want to know what's going on. I want to know where everything is happening. So I'm just checking out on YouTube to just keep up to date with what is going on. I think I need to get back to work. I need to, it's actually exactly 1 p.m. I need to finish some things, and I'm gonna get back to that. I am happy you've spent a few minutes with me. It's 44 minutes. You've spent your time with me, you've engaged me, you have chatted with me, you've listened to my not so good review. Yeah, you've listened to my review on It Ends With Us, and hopefully I'll come back next week with a review of It Starts With Us once I finish it. So stay tuned. I don't know which book I'll read after this too, but we'll find out once I'm done reading this one. Stay in touch. I have a YouTube channel, the one you're watching this live on. Subscribe if you've not subscribed. Leave a comment or two. Share. Come back when I go live again. It will be next week. And I will see you guys on my next live. Thank you so much. Have a good time wherever you are. Have a good day. Have a good afternoon. And bye for now.